What's up, guys? One Koala Man here, bringing you episode number 16 of our fairy tale reviews. And today's episode was pretty, back and forth between a lot of different things and a lot of different scenes in the show. But I'll get into that after the intro's done. So if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that like button down below. Be sure to answer the question of the day, which will be the first thing you see in that description. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. If it's not in the description, hopefully it is. And if I don't forget, it is at One Koala Man. So be sure to follow me on Twitter and share it to everybody you know. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's get this mother underway. So we start today's episode off where we left off last episode, and that is Gray is about to do the iced shell on Leon. Excuse me for that one. And he's honestly gonna do it. Like, he's really getting into the moment. He's gonna do it. And then Natsu punches him square in the jaw. I'm like, wow. So Natsu is the reason why he didn't do it. So he was not bluffing. He was actually gonna get rid of everything. So, I mean, Gray's freaking nuts. Honestly, Gray is nuts. And so Gray and Natsu are arguing, and the reason they're arguing is because Natsu wants to fight Leon because Gray already lost to him, so Natsu wants to give him a chance, give himself a chance, and fight Leon himself. And Gray's like, no. I said I was going to deal with him. And Natsu's like, I don't care. I'm versing him. You can wait until next round. And I was cracking up. And during all this arguing, Zalti actually untilts the temple and makes it perfectly fine again. So I don't know what kind of magic he uses. It's like some kind of earth magic or something. But he untilts the whole thing, and everybody's like, uh-oh, that means the moon drip's gonna continue, because now that it's straight, the moonlight can shine directly onto Deliora, who is in the cavern down below. And so Natsu's like, okay, fine, Gray, you can take this. I'll chase down the masked guy. And so the Zalti runs, Natsu chases after him, and now it's Gray versus Leon. And they're talking first because, that's how all great fights start, is just talking. And Leon is being told by Gray that is still alive. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe now he'll have a change of heart. And then Gray is still talking, and Leon comes up to him, puts his hand on Gray's chest, and out of Gray's back, like a tiger, an ice tiger, comes out. So he impaled Gray. I'm like, ooh. And turns out Leon actually knew was still alive, but he still chooses to do this. He still chooses to, basically kill And so this guy's even more nuts than Gray. So, and Gray really wants to fight him, and Leon's like, no, I want to save my magic for Deliora. And Gray's like, okay, then we'll fight fist to fist. And so they start fighting fist to fist, mano y mano. So they begin their fight, and we move on to Natsu, who's chasing Zalti, and he's saying to Zalti, what kind of magic do you use? And Zalti brings up his hand, a circular part of the roof comes down on him, and Natsu, of course, kicks it out of the way with his fire. And then Zalti seems to fix it and put it back. He's like, that's the kind of magic I use, which answered absolutely no questions on what magic he uses. I'm guessing it's earth magic, and he says it's one of the lost magics. So I don't know how earth can be a lost magic. So obviously it's probably not just earth magic. So I don't know. Hopefully he'll tell us what kind of lost magic it is he's working on. So now we get pushed back to Gray versus Leon, and Leon is just kicking the snot out of Gray. He literally, because he's not using magic, so he's kicking him, he's kneeing him, he's punching him, he's headbutting him, whatever. He's just destroying Gray right now. And Gray has a flashback of what him and Natsu used to do when they used to spar. And they would both not give up at all until they were either both down or whatever. So that drives Gray, and so round 3 is starting, because the first round was on top of the temple. Second round was... What was the second round? Maybe this is the second round. Okay, yeah, this is the second round. Okay, so round 2 is about to start between Gray and Leon. So hopefully it's a good fight, So now we get pushed back to the forest, and it's the cult people, followers of Zareth, I guess, versus, you know, the rest of the squad, Urza, Lucy, and Happy. And apparently there's like a bunch of them, but there's only 5 wizards out of like all of the cult followers. And so Lucy has to bring out Cancer to help do whatever, and, you know, we just get kicked back to the fight. after Cancer comes, he flirts with Urza, and then we just get kicked back to the fight between Gray and Leon. So now we go on to round 3. I believe it's round 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's round 3 of the Gray and Leon fight. So Gray already punched the heck out of Leon, so he won that part. So Leon is 1-1, and Gray is 1-1. So this is the final fight to see who is better of the two. So they're fighting, but we get kicked back to Natsu following Zolti, and for some strange reason, Natsu is saying that Zolti, the reason why he found Zolti is because Zolti smells like girl's perfume. And I'm like, I don't know what Zolti does, you know, on the side, besides, you know, following the Cold Emperor. I don't know what his night job is or whatever, but he forgot to take off the perfume. And so I thought that was pretty weird. And then we go back to the fight, and Leon and Gray are, you know, going at it using magic this time. And Leon summons like this tiger thing. Gray traps it like a cage, and, you know, Leon tries to bring it out of the cage, but he can't. And Gray points out that one-handed ice make magic is it's like not perfect, so it's kind of, you know, flawed at some degree. And apparently it is, because the tiger can't come out of the cage. And so Gray does one final thing. He holds his hands up, and then he brings up Ice Cannon, and he shoots that mother right at Leon, and Leon is down for the count. So Gray did his fatality, and he wins round 3, and that is the finishing round of the fight. So since Gray finally beat Leon, we go back to the forest, and the squad, you know, managed to beat up all the, you know, cult followers. And for some strange reason, one of them, well, not one of them, like a few of them say, hold on. And then Urza realizes that they have like headbands, and they are from the city of Brago. And if you remember correctly, Brago is the city, or a city, that Deliora defeated, or not defeated, destroyed back in the day. And so the reason why the cult followers are doing this is so Leon can beat Deliora, so they can get their revenge on Deliora. So I thought that was a pretty big mind blow at that point. So now everything is said and done, and Natsu is trying to fight Zolti, and then we see Deliora starting to thaw out, and the whole temple shakes, the ground shakes, probably the whole island shakes, and Deliora is like yelling because he's free. He doesn't really talk, he's just screaming like a demon would scream or whatever. And I'm like, this is gonna be nuts, because now they all gotta fight Deliora, the demon of destruction. So this thing is gonna destroy everything. And Gray's like, okay, I know what I have to do. I have to do Iced Shell. And that is the end of the episode of Fairy Tail. Alright guys, you already know I don't like to end off these episodes without a question of the day. And today's question of the day does not pertain to Fairy Tail or anime at all. It is your personal opinion. Now, this is going to be my personal opinion. Now, as some of you might know, I like to listen to rap. And, you know, some rock, some, country? No country. But, you know, I like to listen to rap, and the XXL magazine revealed their freshman class of 2015. I'll put a picture of it, like, somewhere around here right now. But I am very disappointed with the freshman class. Not only because, you know, some of the people on there aren't really good. It's just, like, every single year I hope for somebody that I like, and they don't end up on there. And we got people like Fetty Wap, K Camp, I think it's DJ Loaf, or Dej Loaf. I call her Dej Loaf. And we got, I believe, Vince Staples. Now, Fetty Wap, I've only heard Trap Queen from Fetty Wap. DJ Loaf, I've heard the Hennessy one, Detroit vs. Everybody, Be Real with Kidding, that's a really good song. Vince Staples, I haven't heard anything from him. K Camp, I don't like him at all. He sounds horrifying. He sounds just like Future, but that's neither here nor there. Two rappers that I would have loved to see on the Double XL freshman are Priest and Futuristic. Now, Priest isn't very known. He's not as known as Futuristic. So hopefully those two will make it on the Double XL freshman class of 2016. And so the question of the day for you guys is, if you guys, you know, like rap or whatever, who do you think should have been on the freshman class of 2015? And, you know, give a little reason why. And give your favorite song from that rapper that you suggest for it. Now, Priest, my favorite song from Priest is probably, oh, that's a good one actually. Probably Jack on Ice, Stay Blessed, and Pour Some More. Those are really good off of his Revenge of the Nerd album, so go check that out. I'll put a link to it in the description, hopefully, if I remember. And Futuristic, my favorite song from Futuristic is probably, oh man, probably The Greatest. Now, I've heard some of his older stuff like, you know, Play in the Rain, Change, Chasing Down a Dream, In the Zone, you know, all that good stuff. But leave me down in the comments below, who do you think should have been, that didn't make it this time, in the Double XL 2015 freshman class of 2015. And as always, guys, keep it cool.